I firmly believe you have the power deep inside you. Very deep.
Hey, welcome back to ScreenCrush. I'm Ryan Airy, and this is all of the Easter eggs, references, and little things you might have missed in the second episode of Willow. Earlier today, we released our breakdown of the first episode, so make sure you check that one out before or after you watch this video. So now, let's dive in. Just like in the first episode, we open with a storybook, now taken to Chapter 2, the High Aldwin. Now, this is the title that Willow holds as chief of his village, and you'll remember that we met a previous High Aldwin in the Willow movie.
The power to control the world is in which finger?
Now, the High Aldwin in the original film was a sorcerer and very wise, but he was also not a very powerful sorcerer. For instance, he gave Willow acorns that could turn his people into stone, but those acorns had no effect on Bavmorda.
Is that the extent of your powers, little one?
So it's obvious that Nelwyn magic is not viewed very highly by the rest of this world, as we'll see in just a bit. The episode begins with a flashback to Willow meeting up with Sorcia, probably about 5 years after the original film. Willow already has a little beard to show that he's growing into a leadership role like the High Aldwin. And the de-aging tech used on Warwick Davis and Joanne Whaley looks pretty great. We've come a long way since Tron Legacy. Willow tells her about his prophecy dream that sets the whole series into motion and leads to Allura being hidden away. And he warns her,
A child of immense power, but if it isn't encouraged, it'll fade like all things do without proper nourishment.
which is setting up Dove's quest for the episode and for the series. Can she relearn magic? Can she once again know everything that she seemed to know instinctually when she was just a baby? The other big mystery of the show is what happened to Madmartigan. Sorcia tells us about a quest.
The whereabouts of the Chimerian Cuirass. He rode out 9 moons ago with his squire.
Yeah, what's going on with all that?
Well, this is elaborated on later in the episode, but the Chimeria Cuirass is a very powerful armor that Sorcia believes can protect them all from the evil magic of the Old Crone. And remember, Allura Danan is also called the last blood of Chimeria, implying that she is a descendant of the person who originally wore this armor. So it makes sense that Sorcia would put all of her faith in weapons and armor because remember, she was a warrior who once served her mother.
I don't need his help, Mother.
You'll do as I say, child.
She also sent Madmartigan and his squire, Borman, to find this magic breastplate. Borman returned, and for some reason he was imprisoned afterwards. So my guess is that maybe, like he says, he kept on grave robbing after they found the cuirass. Funny how in the first episode we said this guy was like Han Solo, and now it's more like he's Indiana Jones.
That belongs in a museum!
The point is that Sorcia maybe kept him in the dungeons because he was charged with crime, so she couldn't set him free, but she also trusted him as her husband's former squire. Either way, now we know what she meant last episode when she said,
It's a square debt with an old friend.
the oath was to Madmartigan.
Oh man, the holiday season is upon us, and I'm having a hard time coming up with a creative gift for the people that I love.
Well, Doug, if there's somebody you care about and you want to get them a nice gift for the holidays, you could get them a certificate from Established Titles. They're the sponsor of this video. Established Titles is a fun novelty gift that allows you to purchase 1 square foot of land in Scotland, which, according to Scottish custom, makes you a landowner, and that allows you to have the title of Lord or Lady. Now, my own land is on a private nature reserve in Edelston, and my purchase helps to preserve their woodlands. And that's the really cool thing about this certification, guys. It's not just a novelty gift. It helps protect the woodlands of Scotland. With every order, Established Titles plants trees all over the world through their charity partners One Tree Planted and Trees for the Future. You get this certificate with an official crest and a unique plot number so you can see the exact location of your land. And then you will be allowed to officially change your name to Lord or Lady. It also makes for a terrific last-minute gift. I mean, just look at some of these reactions.
Lord Joe Green.
Lord Kenneth Delane Albert.
All right. Hey, look at that. You will be calling me Lord!
Established Titles is actually running a massive Black Friday sale right now. Plus, if you use the code ScreenCrush, you get an additional 10% off. And the first 200 people purchasing a title pack using my link will effectively be next to my plot or within walking distance. So depending on how many people want to be a lord or lady, we can have our own little ScreenCrush kingdom. So go to establishedtitles.com/ScreenCrush to get your gifts now and help support our channel. So in this conversation, we hear that the old white magic has left the land.
Raziel is gone.
Now notice that she says gone and not dead. So Raziel is the sorceress from the first movie, and we did see in the film that she ages like a normal human.
Has it been so long?
But she might also have transformed into some other form of energy, like Willow alluded to later in the episode.
What we call magic is the art of transforming that energy from one form to another.
In fact, here's a crazy theory. What if the old crone, the big bad of the series, is not Bavmorda? What if it's actually Raziel, who has turned evil? Sorcha also says that Lengel-Enright is also gone. So this was the fairy who gave Willow the wand in the first movie, and maybe she's gone because Raziel destroyed her. Or maybe both of them spent all of their magic creating the great barrier that surrounds the kingdom. It's even possible that Raziel and Lengel-Enright actually became the border. So the reason why Elora Danan was allowed to pass through is because they recognized her and allowed her safe passage. So look, emotionally, the real gut punch of this scene is this.
But you're not a great sorcerer, and you never will be.
Which hits hard, like this.
You can't win! They ask you how you are, you just have to say that you're fine when you're not really fine.
Sorcha cuts Willow to the bone here. Because remember, in the first movie, he was belittled and told that he would never succeed.
Well, that's good. Oh, well, how did he get picked? Is this a joke?
Since then, he's trained, he's worked hard, but deep down he knows that he can't ever be a truly great sorcerer. But Elora Danan can. He wants to train her, and this is also a trope that we see a lot in myths and storytelling. The old mentor figure wants to train the chosen one, but is forbidden to. We saw this in Obi-Wan.
When the time comes, he must be trained.
Like you trained his father?
And also in A New Hope.
But your uncle wouldn't allow it.
So then we go to present day, the aftermath of everyone debating if she actually is the chosen one. Willow takes them into the new Nelwyn village, which is underground.
Yeah, how'd they do that? They did tunnels or something?
No, actually they already had mines, which were briefly mentioned in the movie.
I will have this land off good. I'm not going to end up working in the mines.
Willow's daughter is played by Warwick Davis's real-life daughter, Annabelle Davis. Now apparently his wife Kaya has passed away. Very sad. But his daughter is fulfilling a similar role. She is his emotional tie to home. Now she knows Elora Danan on sight. Remember, she was the one who originally found her in the river. She even says,
You were the most beautiful giant baby.
Which is basically what she says in the film.
But Dad, it's a baby. It's not like us.
Now when Willow enters, they pound a drum and he's carried on a chair. And this also marked the High Aldwin's entrance in the movie. Remember, the High Aldwin was great at winning over the crowd.
Willow off good.
And Willow got some work to do.
Grieved, toiled, and endured. And that's just on the weekend.
It's a neat reversal that they give Elora a hero's welcome when they were so afraid of her in the first movie.
That's what the beast wants. Let's give it back to them. Yeah!
You would think that they would blame her for all of their troubles, but instead of being superstitious, they've listened to their wise leader Willow and celebrate the role that their village played in the history of this world. Willow consults the bones, where you throw out a bunch of bones and try to divine meaning from where they fall, and he doesn't seem to see a damn thing in them. He also learned this trick from his mentor.
The bones tell me nothing. The bones have spoken!
The people and the audience expect Elora Danan to immediately save them, but Willow assures them that this is going to take time.
Yeah, at least 8 episodes.
Yeah, that's right. So then the people shout, which the High Aldwin did for Willow in the first movie. And later he tells Willow the right answer, that his own finger was the correct choice, because
you lack faith in yourself. Now, when you're out there, listen to your own heart.
So now Willow has to teach Dove this same lesson, to have confidence in herself. But that's hard because she doesn't even know who the heck she is.
Who am I?
So when Elora takes the finger test, Willow tries to help her cheat to the answer. She fails, but remember,
no one's ever made the first jump.
Back at Terrace Lane, we see that, like I guess, the kitchen maid was actually Dove's protector and she knew her secret, which explains why she tried to keep her away from royal affairs.
It's none of your concern.
Sorcha sends Ballantyne after her, not suspecting that he is now under the control of the crone. So in our Willow recap, we did point out that the movie has many similarities to Lord of the Rings. And now we can add another. The main villain is an evil, disembodied voice.
She could still destroy me.
Back at the Nelwyn village, we see them celebrate her with a feast, and there's even a maypole in the background. They discuss the geography of the land and how to get to the Shattered Sea.
Nobody goes through Knockmar. Go round to the north.
Or the south, depending on where you're going.
True.
Now, Knockmar is the evil castle that Bavmorda had in the first film, and that was abandoned by Sorcha when the kingdom's capital moved back to Tir Asleen. Most of the places they mention are new to the lore, but they do say
Mannheim
and
Cameron,
which is maybe a reference to the actress Cameron Mannheim. Maybe Jake Kasdan's a really big fan of the practice. And they also mention Immemorial City, which might be an homage to Tolkien. He wrote a poem in 1911 called The City of the Fording that contained the line, "From this many willowed margin of the immemorial Thames, standing in a veil outcarven in a world-forgotten day. So Willow has spent years wanting to train Elora, and now he's struggling with the idea that maybe she doesn't want to be trained, or even worse, that it's too late to train her. And this makes him doubt himself and her ability to realize her full potential. And of course, an important part of any story like Willow is the hero denying the call to adventure.
The truth is, I'm not special.
I'm not the one, Trinity.
I can't get involved.
Just like the Jedi, training a sorceress is easier when you start young.
He is too old. Yes, too old to begin the training.
Willow even points out that as a baby, she seemed very wise, which is quite true.
Elora Danan has chosen you to be her guardian.
And now, real life has clouded her connection to the magical world, and so is puberty.
He fell in love.
His daughter talks him into leaving, and then she takes the wand of Sherlindria from its box. Now, this is another part of classic lore. The hero is always given a special weapon when they are ready, like King Arthur drawing Excalibur, or this.
Somehow Palpatine returned.
Sorry, I meant this. Now, I really like that everyone in the party is not rallying around Elora Danan right away. In fact, it threatens to splinter this fellowship. Jade and Kit land on opposite sides.
Where are you going? To look for her. But just do what you want. You always do.
Graydon seems to not only believe her, but he's also like into her.
So you're Elora Danan, huh?
Huh?
And Borman, well, he's the rogue.
It's not that I don't believe it as much as I don't really care.
It's all a lot of simple tricks and nonsense.
He believes in nothing, Lebowski.
Nice one, high five. So Willow, having his own crisis of confidence, wanders into the old village and gives us some sweet, sweet member berries from the original movie. As he remembers the words of the High Aldwin, the original Willow theme plays softly on piano.
Willow Osgood, the safety of this child depends upon you.
This is an old nostalgia trick we've seen several times, like in that trailer for the reboot Muppet movie.
It's time to meet the Muppets.
So the Nelwyns gave Elora a crown woven from grasses and twine to symbolize that she is their future empress. But downriver, Dove lets this crown go, drifting away from the Nelwyn village. Now this is a nice symbolic link to the first film. Elora arrived at the Nelwyn village as a baby, floating down the river like so much Kal-El or Moses. Arriving in the village set her on a path to becoming royalty. But now, to reject that royalty, she sends this new crown away from these people. It's also saying that she's not going to be what the Nelwyns or the audience expect her to be. She is going to be her own person. So as they head off on their quest, Valentine is fully taken over by evil.
Purpose.
Also symbolizing how the evil magic of the old crone has slowly slipped into these lands unnoticed. So one thing this show is doing well is creating different relationships between the members of this party. Kit sees herself as a bit of a rogue, so she relates to Borman, and he relates to her because she's a lot like her dad. Meanwhile, Jade is more bound by her duty than she is to her love for Kit, and none of them feel any personal loyalty to Dove except for Graydon. Now I'm glad the show is taking advantage of its runtime to develop the ensemble cast, something you don't really get in many movies. So in Willow's first lesson, he says,
Magic is the bloodstream of the universe. Forget all you know or think you know.
Which his mentor, the High Aldwin, said in the movie.
Magic is the bloodstream of the universe. Forget all you know or think you know.
She warns him that she gets motion sick like she did as a baby.
The baby's sick.
And just like in the movie, she throws up in an Nelwyn's face. Willow really struggles to get her to recite the spell, just like he struggled to transform Raziel in the film.
I can't remember the middle part. That's the word that pleads for change.
So I thought this whole pronunciation scheme was pretty great because, to be honest, I had the same trouble pronouncing elven words in her Rings of Power videos.
Kind of sounds like she's getting further away from it.
We get another flashback where Willow asks her how they changed her hair color.
Last time I saw you, your hair was red.
Prue rubs lemon juice and beetle blood in it to change the color.
And it's interesting they did this with science and fruits and things like that instead of with magic. It's showing a way that they're actually separating her from her mystical abilities. And then Willow accidentally comes off as a total stranger danger.
Wait, come back. I didn't mean anything.
So this whole scene really pisses off Sorsha, and she again belittles his magical abilities.
Oh, you'll what? Do your old disappearing pig trick?
I mean, look, you can mock that trick all you want, but it did save Willow's hurt feelings made him retreat from the world and only take care of his own people, and this is probably when he moved them underground. In our last video, I pointed out how this series is taking a lot of its cues from a different reboot, The Force Awakens, including a protagonist turned mentor who has lost all faith and now lives in hiding. So now we see that, like Luke Skywalker in The Last Jedi, he is also losing faith in his pupil.
I think we should turn back. Go away.
Also, like in The Force Awakens, magic has disappeared from the land, and people have trouble even believing in the mystical forces that protect the world. Back at the village, Valentine runs into some Nelwyn warriors, who, remember, Nelwyn warriors aren't slouches. They killed a death dog in the first movie. And then he throws out the ultimate insult to Nelwyn kind.
You wouldn't lie to us, would you? Pack.
I don't need help from a pack.
You know, I actually debated on whether or not we should play that word on this channel because, like, this is a family channel. The only times you're allowed to use that word are if you're making an inventory of pickled peppers or if you're talking about the EPA guy in Ghostbusters.
Disgusting.
Yes, it is. High five. So Graydon gives Alora a pep talk, telling her that she's amazing and just needs to believe in herself. This doesn't work, but the next morning she does wake up frustrated and finally connects to her real emotions. Instead of trying to feel something, she just feels something. Now this is similar to the movie when Raziel told Willow to feel the words.
Speak and be one with the words.
Also similar to Star Wars.
Stretch out with your feelings.
This is intercut with us seeing the rest of Willow's vision with a grown-up Alora Danan.
Oh, so that's how she knew what she would look like as a teenager.
Yeah, I guess so. Now, prophecies are strange things, and he has decided that for them to win, Alora Danan actually has to die. Now, look, maybe that means that she'll die and be reborn, which is another really important part of the hero's journey. And the episode ends with Dove's capture, but revealing that her magic is working. It's a great cliffhanger. Hey Doug, did you ever get anyone that established title certificate I was talking about?
I sure did, person. I got one for you.
Oh. Okay, buddy, thanks. I already own one, but this was really nice. So let me know what you think about all this down in the comments below or at me on Twitter. And if it's your first time here, please subscribe and smash that bell for alerts. For ScreenCrush, I'm Ryan Airy.